Hello, everybody. It is me, Demetra Kane. I am sitting here with Donovan, a recovering Democrat Sadiq, also known as the Black Yule Brenner. And the purpose of the Demetra K Show is to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people with the emphasis on even because we're great people, but we can always strive to do better. I'd like to say a big giant thank you and welcome to Facebook and YouTube. You are the other side of the conversation. Not only are you the other side of the conversation, sometimes I share the link. If your profile looks like this, please show me this. And if you're not comfortable, you can go back to that. All I ask, especially if I've never seen you on here before, you must show me your face. Also in the comment section and on the panels, not that we disagree, is how we disagree. So let's try to be as respectful as possible. Today, we're going to be talking about that of former president, now deceased president, Jimmy Carter, who's the 39th president of the United States. He passed away at the age of 100. And all of the former presidents and their wives and other dignitaries were there in attendance in Washington, D.C., where they had like the major funeral, if you will. And Trump and Barack Obama sat next to each other, and it was quite the display. But I want to ask y'all, are y'all still mad? Are you still mad? Are you still cutting people off for disagreeing with you over this last election season? Of course, we know that was a doozy where a lot of people got in their feelings. They said, I'm never ever going to speak to my mama, my daddy, my grandmama, my kids, my homies ever again because you guys didn't vote for Kamala or maybe you didn't vote for Trump. It was a mess, right? And so, of course, I'm going to show y'all the video, but we saw Barack and Trump. They're kikiing and they are ha-haing. Before I give it to Donovan, and hello to everybody's come on here. I also just want to acknowledge that, yes, there is a wildfires going on in Southern California. Some of them have been contained, but most of them have not. There have been whole neighborhoods, Pacific Palisades is completely wiped out. Malibu right along there, PCH completely gone. A large part of Altadena, some of Pasadena gone. And a whole host of other areas. Hollywood was on fire. They put that one out. The one that's going toward Calabasas, I think maybe it's still burning, but there said there's no immediate need for evacuation just yet. As of now, 10 people have died. They're still, thinking there's more out there because there's a lot of people. Like there's a 55-year-old man who died. They found his body with a garden hose rather, in his hand. He was trying to put the fire out from attacking his house, but he was not successful. So when they went back, they did find his remains holding a water hose. So they're thinking that they'll probably find a whole host of other people who try to stave off the fires, which was just outrageous. Now, of course, those fires took place due to the high winds. California has a fire season, if you will, but as Gavin Newsom said, we no longer have a fire season. We now have fires, it's all year long is a fire season. So a lot of people are asking how those fires got started. It's a combination of things: high wind, drought, down fire lines. And now they're saying that it was a homeless man that did one of the fires, which I'm kind of having my suspicions about, as a lot of people are, because there's a lot of conversation in regards to, who was the blame and things like that. But I will say this: there has a lot of people lost houses and things like that. A lot of celebrities, you name it. A lot of them live in Los Angeles, and a lot of those homes, multi-million-dollar homes. One of those neighborhoods I looked at, I can't remember which one it is at this point. It's at the it's Hidden Hills. Hidden Hills, I think it was. It said the median price for a house there is about $6 to $7 million. So just to give you an idea of that. So we'll have a conversation about that as well. But I just wanted to mention that because there's a lot of people who are struggling right now. There's a lot of other things I want to say about it, but I will not right now anyway. I did put a video out on African Diaspora News Channel addressing. It's not out yet. I'm waiting for it to be edited and you guys can see it there. And I give all of my opinion about what is going on. But in the meantime, Donovan, what say you?
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're at. It's Friday. It's Friday. It's Friday. Wait, anyway. I gotta get my little slang on. It's Friday. Bear with me. Benny is pulling on the cords and on my laptop here, so doing his little thing. Welcome to the show, or welcome to the program. It's not a show. Welcome to the program, you guys. And it's good to see you guys back with us. We thank you guys for tuning in. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you want to continue to have these great conversations, there's ways where you could contribute to the show by sorry about that, Benny's pulling the cords. there's a scrolling banner at the bottom. So please donate Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, Cash Money Order, and all that other great stuff. Also, don't forget to download the African Diaspora News Channel app. You can get it on Google Play, Apple Store. You'll get great content from Demetri K, Brother Phil Scott, Wongel, and a whole host of other hosts that are on the show there. Also, the Emancipation Channel, which talks about other topics other than politics, just all kinds of things that are going around with the African diaspora. It's a new year, 2025. We are 10 days away from Donald Trump's second administration. So we don't want people to think that, oh, you know, we're just against the Democrats or whatever. If you guys have done your history on this show and on my show and on Demetri's show, we call out the BS in regards to what both parties do not do for Black people. So get ready. 2025 is about to happen. Now, 2025, we got a new perspective how to think. One of the great gifts that are coming, because I know we all got cousin Ray, Pookie, and them. They want money on their books, whatever, like all that other great stuff. Hey, you could buy memberships on these different platforms, and I think that is a great way to educate people, because if you got an education, even if you have a student, look how many of you guys got student loan debt. You got an education, but you got all that debt, right? You owe all that money, but what can't they take from you? The education you got. So by buying memberships for people, I think that is a great way to help them understand where they sit in the world. But this is going to be a great topic. I watched it yesterday as well. A lot of stuff going on here in California. Now, where I'm at, I'm 60 miles east of Los Angeles, so we can see the smoke in the distance. But we have fire season. I live in the desert, so we have fire season. You guys can look up Riverside, California. That's the closest city to where I'm at. We can see the fires and all that other stuff, but we have fire season. So every summer, somebody sets a fire out here, and when you have fire and you mitigate the brush in the local areas, it cuts down on the fires. But see, when you're wealthy, rich, oh, we need to let everything be natural and let it grow. We don't want the fires over here. We don't have fires here. We don't do that. And then when it happens, it happens. I mean, as rich as those areas are, how do you not have water pressure in the fire hydrants? You know, that's something to really think about. So we're going to get into this topic. Want to hear what you guys have to say about it. So some of you guys that are from California, identify yourself. Doesn't matter if you're from Northern California or Southern California, identify yourself. If you got people who live in California, please identify yourselves.
All right. So hello. And again, welcome to everybody that's come on here. So of course, yesterday, you guys have probably seen it on TV, heard it on the radio. I listened to parts of it on the radio. It was President Carter's funeral. He died not too long ago, 100 years old. And so all of the presidents that are remaining or alive, right? They were there. And, some of the vice presidents were there as well, including Pence and Kamala Harris. So, of course, they all kind of filled in to take their seats and things like that. And when they all finally got seated, and Michelle was not there, says that I guess she was in Hawaii. She had a scheduled conflict. That's what they're saying. So Obama was there by himself, and he sat next to that of Trump, who was sitting next to his wife, Melania, right? So I guess before the service, they had a nice conversation. This is a portion. I guess they had well, I'll tell you that they did. And this is a portion of it. So here we go. So there you have it. So that was they spent quite a bit of time talking, and you could tell laughing and things like that. So Trump was asked about it at Mar-a-Lago when he was also talking about that of Putin, Russia and Ukraine situation. So they asked him about Obama and basically what that was about. He says, well, yeah, it looks like, he said he didn't really realize that it looked like they really liked each other. And he said, I guess we do. They were just chit-chatting, nothing major. He says, but I think we like each other. That's pretty much what he said, right? So obviously, people ran away with it, drawing all kind of narratives and stuff about what they could have been talking about, this, that, and the other. But whatever it was, they were laughing at each other, whatever they were saying. So it looks like they were okay. But of course, y'all saw Kamala. She looked back and she did not contain that she felt a certain type of way about the chit chatting that was going on. And then, as she looked back, Melania kind of looked at her, like, okay. And then Laura Bush was sitting next to Barack, and she was kind of like smiling, but like you could kind of tell they were all uncomfortable because Bush walked by Trump and didn't say nothing to him. He acknowledged Obama, but he didn't acknowledge Trump or Melania. Him and Laura, they just walked by him, didn't say anything to him. Trump did shake the hands of Pence, so that's, I guess, as far as it went. But I guess they're all kind of still on the same page that they hate him or whatever. So Kamala's mad because they ran around calling him a fascist and likening him to Hitler and, a whole host of other things. They really, at the last part of the election season or campaigning, they went hard in the paint. Obama was saying a whole lot of stuff about Trump, and they were just kind of all over the place. And, to kind of see Kamala look at him like, are you serious? And she probably was thinking N-word. Are you serious? I would tell Michelle as soon as I get out of here, But then when I thought about it, I said, well, wasn't it Michelle and Bush? I can't remember whose funeral it was, but they were keying and ha-ha and trading.
Betty Bush's, yeah.
Yeah, they were trading peppermints and, the all laying on each other's shoulder and stuff like that. And it's like, well, that was a contentious campaign season as well, So, when Obama was running, but she seemed to squash all of her differences. And Bush and Michelle talk about how much they love each other now. So it's like, well, whatever would be the difference. But more importantly, as I said in the beginning, many people cut off family members. They were upset. I'm never ever going to speak to you again. I'm putting your plate up at the table. You're no longer welcome to commune with us. You're a traitor. How dare you put the country in jeopardy for voting for this man? It was a lie, right? So then looking at those two, which most of us already knew, politics is kabuki theater. They pretend like they hate each other and they get everybody all riled up. I got to choose left. I got to choose right. And then there they are. They're not even like, if you think about it, the election was 2 months ago. 2 months ago, when everybody was at each other's throats, Obama came out there pointing his finger and, how dare you vote for Trump, basically the stuff he was saying. But they squashed their differences apparently. But yet there's still people who are mad at their family and friends over exercising their democracy. And I want to say this. It's mostly, from what I see, I'm not saying this is overall, but from what I see, it's mostly Democrats who are mad that their friend or family voted for Trump, did not vote for Kamala, so they feel betrayed. We heard all about how people was boycotting Walmart because they acquiesced to that of the DEI ban and, all these other things. 92% of Black women says they are just out of it. They're not doing anything for the country. Nobody, no more, because they have been let down behind Kamala not winning the presidency. So I want to know from anybody out there, and I want to share the link for this and this only. If you have, and I don't think any of y'all going to admit it, so it's probably really a waste of time, but if any of you have cut your mama and them off for voting for Trump or not voting for Kamala, let's say just not voting for Kamala, it's now that you see that Obama, who is like the king of the Democrats, right? He's probably going to be excommunicated from them, but he's a king of the Democrats. He sat next to Trump and nobody else acknowledged him, and they had a conversation that was amiable at the very least. Are you willing to now put your differences aside and say, yeah, I was tripping? Are you now going to set a place for your mama at the next get together that you have? That's the question I have. And hello to everybody that's come on here. Donovan?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep mine short because I want to give our co-host a chance to voice their opinions there. But did you see in the video, you guys, where Kamala looked kind of confused as she's going? Because when you're an Indian woman, you don't know anything about Christian values, and how the Christian thing rolls. And then Doug being a Jew, I mean, they're in an environment that they really culturally don't know anything about, and that's one of the first things I noticed. It's like she's just there, like it's just some kind of thing, because since she does. Greens in the bathtub, she should be, if she was a real Black woman, where's her big hat? Because she's 60 years old. So she should be part of the big hat gang. She should be trying to jump in the casket. She should be, get ready to run, like, Bernice Jenkins or whatever, and run around the thing and, and put the blessing on and all that other stuff. So, again, a lot of people were asking me to go, well, why is the vice president in front of those former presidents? Because they're former presidents. She is the current vice president. So, the current administration always sits, front, center, and so on. It's just a protocol thing. For those guys that weren't in the military and you guys are civilians, you guys do things a little bit different. It's a protocol thing. So, but I want to hear what you guys have to say about this. But, I just want to say that in closing, and I'm not trying to bash anybody. I live in California. Have you guys noticed these Democratic politicians are bottom barrel? I'm talking about incompetent to its highest degree. I'm not saying the Republicans are that much better, but we vote Democrat. And look at the incompetence that we deal with. Did you guys see that video of Karen Bass when she first arrived at LAX and that reporter was asking her those questions and she looked totally frozen? Do you guys want to know why she was frozen like that? Because the Democrats are not used to being questioned by the press, to which they have in their back pocket. And also, before I hand this off to you guys, Donald Trump was convicted in court today. He's going to appeal, but he was convicted under 32 counts. That was not necessarily vacated, but what was it? He isn't going to do no punishment, no crime, no fine, no nothing. But this goes to show you white supremacy will not allow anybody who has white skin and of European whatever descent to be subjugated to everybody else's level. But think about this, and I'm not a Obama supporter. If that was Barack Obama, they would have locked that brother up with that under the jail.
Yeah. Yes, Troy. He says, remember, Bush and Obama are cousins. Yes, indeed. Rain, how you doing? Extreme X, what's going on with you? Says the backbone of the Democratic Party, so they say, right? Yes, Dwayne, how you doing? He says first Obama and Bush are now, and now Obama and Trump chopping it up at the anointed. Up there, anointed. These people trash each other's name in front of the world. Now they're giggling. It's all a show. Again, if you know what the Communist Manifesto says, that's by design. They're all players in the game. Capitalism is the one that's really wielding all of these things. And they put on performances to give everybody else something to do while the money is moving and decisions are being made that really are important, right? Ali, how you doing? He says the fire is unreal since 2014. I think Gavin was told about the danger, by President Trump. You know what? But he did go out there and tell them. It wasn't 2014. It was like 2017 or something like that. What Trump told Gavin that y'all need to rake the leaves off the forest floor. Lady Diana, he says life is like watching a soap opera with life continuously changing. With every scene, just keep watching. Yep. Jupiter, how you doing? Says good evening. Good afternoon, Demetra. How you guys doing? We're doing well. I'm in Houston. I am a Californian though, but everybody seems to be doing fine that I know. It says, I hope people vote Karen Bass and Governor out. Well, Governor Newsom is termed out, so he can't run anymore. Because I keep seeing people always say he needs to be voted out. It's like he cannot run again. And I would say, too, even if he could run again, he probably would win. Jamarcus, how you doing? Pensy Lola, what's going on with you? Long time no see. All right, let's see here. Spencer, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. William, what's going on with you? Says not Miss Jenkins. CJ says, yes, her sister would have been dressed to the nines. And yes, protocol. Yeah, but y'all got to remember, too, she is the vice president of the United States. So they still have to, they're not going to church like they go to church nowadays, right? She still has to have some decorum and, protocol and all of that, right? T Powell, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. John Phillips, what's going on with you? Well, I love you too. Valerie, how you doing? Says California has too many underqualified people in government and other positions. California, New York, Texas, Utah, Montana. They all do, right? Yeah, Karen Bass, she was caught off guard. I'm not sure what that was about. She was actually in Ghana, I guess, at the inauguration of Ghana's new president. And so people were taking her to task, like, what were you doing over there? And it was like, well, that's what she was doing over there. Hey, Samuel, C, hope you're doing well. Rainey says, or Martin Payne's mother, Mama Payne, crazy. Jesse says, Karen Bass, Mike Johnston, Brandon Johnson, Eric Adams. Yep. Yeah. And then you get those Sylvester Turner in there, even though he's not mayor anymore of Houston, but he was, right? Taken for what it was. Dwayne says, yep, this is true. Donovan, the mayor and the governor are trying to cover their butts on it. Yeah. McCabe, how you doing? Says 2028 Olympics host city land grab. I've heard all of the conspiracy theories because yes, the Olympics will be there 2028. And the big question before the fires and stuff is where will they host it, right? Because there's gonna be a lot of people. Now remember, Los Angeles hosted the Olympics in 1984. I was there. I was there in the middle of all of it. And they seem to have room then, but you got to remember, probably California and Los Angeles was not as populated as it is now. And there wasn't a large homeless population like it is now. So I don't necessarily buy the land grab because why would they burn the most affluent land? There's a lot of other places they could do that with because they're not above gentrifying. Like SoFi Stadium with Inglewood displaced a lot of Black people that were there, were there for a long time. So that's why I have a hard time believing that they burnt up all that land for the Olympics, which is 3 years from now.
And I just want to add to that. You guys got to think about it. The insurance company, the policies in California are so bad that the insurance companies have left California in general. I mean, with the legals in the car insurance rates have been going up and going up. Now, some of these homes and where these rich people live, you got to remember, this is old Hollywood. Some of these homes were built where the coding of the home goes way back. It's like my house. The code changed in 1981. My house was built in 1980. So when I do upgrades to the house, it costs me a pretty penny to do certain upgrades to get it up to the code today. So those houses were built in like 1918 and 1923, the old Greta Garbo places. They're saying that we're like where those homes are now, they can't be rebuilt up because of the way the coding is today. Because if they're sitting on the side of a cliff, nobody's going to build a home on that anymore. So a lot of these people have lost a lot of money, and a lot of the insurance companies that have left California aren't going to cover these expenses. So guess who's going to cover these expenses? The taxpayer.
Yeah, CJ, I've seen a lot of conversation about Karen Bass being dragged for cutting the budget. She didn't cut the budget. That's just lies, unfortunately, or half truths. How about that? Or people not understanding. And listen, I'm not a Karen Bass fan, but what I am a fan of is telling the truth. And I know a lot of times, which is why I don't spend a lot of time on Twitter because they be lying their asses off on Twitter, and Trump, unfortunately, he sometimes furthers those lies. But there's been a lot of fact checkers that looked to say it wasn't cut. Actually, there was money added. Just people cannot read, for lack of better words, and so they misinterpreted that $23 million. First they were saying $17 million, now they're saying $23 million, or whatever was cut from the budget, but that's not actually true. So, but I've seen all of that. Rain says Kamala's neck aged like a bag of old turkey necks in just 100 days of running for POTUS. You better stop. You better stop. We all gonna get there. Hits 23ville. Did I say hello to you? If not, hello. He says we need to get on the same page. Grassroots. Come on now. JJ says I think it's all about tolerating one another. Yeah, they only pretend like they're mad, right? John, he says we all know the laws are made to pacify. He says specifically right for Black people. Oh yeah, well adversely, right? Sherry, how you doing? He says, I'm saying where they arrested a Hispanic man. Yes, says the white people and others were trying to say it was a Black man for this fire. He almost looked like he's Indian, if you ask me. He says he had a blowtorch with him. That's what they're saying. He says, I'm wondering did they set the fire so they could say so they could build more homes. I think you're saying this is crazy. They're even claiming there were loading. Come to find out, the young man was taking stuff from his own mother's. Oh, looting. Yeah. I saw that video too. Looting and putting stuff in the car. I saw that video, and a lot of people ran away with it. Oh, Black people are looting, right? I saw that. I saw a lot of people post. I even saw there were some white kids that they were getting rid of gasoline from out the back of their trunk because they were all fleeing the fire. And somebody took a video, says, "Oh my God, what are they doing? Are they starting a fire?" And it was like common sense. If you really kind of look at it, they were getting rid of the gasoline that's in their car, because if they're going to go through the fire, it's a combustible, or it's an accelerant rather. So, but people just run away with these narratives. And like, listen, because of what I do as far as journalism and all that, I have to do a lot of research, and I've been wrong a lot, which is why I try to really take my time before I just run off with a narrative, to even, for one, make sure it's not true, because you got AI and stuff a lot. People be deep faking and things like that. And then people run away with half of the story and cook it up and make it seem like it's true. But then when you actually do just a tiny bit of research, like I said, with Google being free, we shouldn't be ignorant. I know Google has issues too, but people make up stuff because they don't like a person. I'm not going to do that. Okay. Like I said, I don't care for Karen Bass's politics. I didn't care for her when she was in the Congressional Black Caucus, when she was a representative, from California. I didn't care for her policies then. But I'm not going to lie on the lady because I don't care for her policies. I just want to put that out there. But yeah, there's a lot of, narratives going on out there. High Tech, how you doing? Says, is Donovan safe with the wildfires going on? Yeah, he's not about 60 miles or so from Los Angeles. They have winds, but not like that. They've got a high wind warning yesterday, but I guess it didn't come to fruition. So thank God, because I got family in the IE as well. Rose H2O, how you doing? Says, hey everyone, enjoying the live while being snowed in. Where are you at? Because I know a lot of the South and Midwest are snowed in. Dallas, they're snowed in or getting ready to be. Houston here, it's very cold, but no snow. Thank God.
Yeah, for you guys, FYI, Dimitri has a brother that lives up the street from me. So, it's family affair down here. It's family affair.
Oh yeah, Brenda, how you doing? Says, and that it says, F nurse was breaking. Oh yeah. And I want to talk about that too. Says that nurse was breaking newborn limbs. If this is enough for a crime bill, FBA, I am mad as F. Time to rise on DC. What you said? What is this? White supremacy did these black babies do? Okay, now let me tell y'all something. Okay, this is what we're gonna have to listen, because that was one of the stories. Where's my paper at? I think I threw it away. That was on my list of stories to cover for this week for African Diaspora News Channel. Right? Let me see. Is this it? It's on here. I wrote it here. It says, where is it at? Baby bones. That's what I did, because as extemporaneously speaking. I was going to do the story, and I started to do research, and guess what I found? That people were running around saying that it was black babies she was doing this to. It was all babies that she was doing this to. And they said, but the commonality was they were all boys that she did it to. So it wasn't that she was just doing it to black babies. So I didn't cover the story on the premise of it being just black babies she was doing it to, because it's been proven, factually proven, that it was all baby boys of different races that she was doing it to. So that's kind of something else that needed to be debunked as well. So I didn't cover, but I did want to, just talk about that. But regardless of who the babies are, it's effed up. I totally agree with you. And she needs to be under the damn jail. Brother Don, he says, vengeance is mine, says the Most High. Yes, indeed. And Daryl, he says, Donovan, you're a pilot of a water bomber aircraft purchased 40 years ago, could last about 50 years, right? If maintained. It's crazy. California never purchased a few hundreds.
Yeah, I kind of responded to that. That's kind of not... A plane can last as long as its flying cycle is. So based on the stress of the wings and stuff, it's called a flying cycle. So certain planes can fly for a very long time and certain planes can't. That's why sometimes you'll see us buy a brand new plane like the C-27. We use it for like 5 years and they send it to the boneyard. It's past its life cycle. But as far as firefighting equipment, how many of you guys know California does have a C-130J brand new aircraft firefighting Air National Guard unit in Van Nuys? The problem is when you have winds like that and thermal drafts, it is very hard to fly an airplane in a residential area, because if the thermal draft hits the plane or whatever and the pilot loses control of the plane, guess where it's going? Into the residential area. So it's kind of hard to fly in a situation like that. And as a pilot, I'm going to tell you personally, I would not even take the chance of doing that, because it's going to be rough. My brother's a hurricane hunter, so he flies through hurricanes, right? Just think about that. Once you get to the eye of the hurricane, everything is calm, but going through it initially is going to be pretty rough. And so, it's, you know, I know it seems like oh, we'll just get the tanker, it's going to be all this other thing. No, it's a little bit more than that, because now you're dealing with my life. I'm the pilot. I want to get home to my family. So flying through those thermal drafts in a residential area, nah, it ain't going to happen. All they can do is sit and wait.
Yeah, average logical thinker. If I did not, hello. He says, I was watching coverage on Biden and Kamala on the fires, and Biden cut Kamala off mid-sit, and she was like, okay, back to you, Mr. President. They done with her in the shows. Yeah, I think so too. Republicans and Democrats. And the other thing too, I noticed during the longer versions of the videos with Trump and Obama talking, she looked back at him, and Obama was like this. No, he just looked back at her like, and what? You know, and he walked by her and didn't shake her hand either. So I don't know if they spoke outside. I don't want to make that narrative that he just didn't speak to her. But I'm saying when everybody walked in, he didn't, you know, speak to her. He spoke to everybody else, it seems like. But maybe, like I said, they had already spoken outside or whatever the case is. But Obama was unfazed when she looked at him. At one point, he was just like, heifer. You know,
well, the thing is, he didn't want her. They knew she was a crash test dummy. She was never ahead in the polling. They did this whole thing wrong. They had no idea she was going to lose as badly as she did. And then all the money that was spent, that strategy was wrong. Everything that was done, this crash test dummy, she looks like a fool. She's on stage or on TV allegedly drunk. I mean, you can tell they really do not care for this woman, and just like this Joy Taylor thing, right? And this is what I've been saying, and a lot of people have been saying. There are a lot of qualified women who worked in industries for years and did it the right way. You know, they got their stripes. Then you have this little tenderoni comes in, skips the line because she's on her back and her legs spread. People don't respect that. At the end of the day, I don't care what you say. I don't care. People don't respect the shortcut. They just don't.
Yeah, and I agree with Trump when he says that Kamala should have never allowed the Democrats to use her. And he said that, and I totally agree with him. He allowed them to put her up for a job that was, for one, almost impossible to win because she only had, you know, a couple of, less than 100 days, give or take, to do it. And she was already so unpopular. He basically said that she allowed the Democrats to basically say, here, you know, after Biden took so long to get up off the job, right? He says that was a big mistake. She shouldn't have allowed them to do it. She should have told them to get somebody else. And that I totally agree with. And unfortunately, I think that's going to be her ending legacy is she allowed them to use her. I think that's really what happened. Jesse says she did go to Ghana, and when stopped at the airport, she refused to speak. Well, yeah, Karen Bass did refuse to speak, but I think the other thing y'all got to realize is she ain't got to speak with everybody who stick a microphone in her face. And again, I'm not defending Karen Bass, but I think I'm one of those, I'm just, like I said, I'm built a little differently. I'm one of those people, I like to see the whole picture. Like, I could not like you, but I'm not going to make and I'm not saying this about you, Jesse, but I could not make a narrative up about you too, because just, you know, she's got a lot on her mind. And I'm just saying, let's just be logical about this, because right now, the internet has gone emotional, and I saw the video of her not, you know, being able to speak. I don't know. Maybe she was emotional about what was going on in her city. Maybe she was like, I don't have to speak, because I wouldn't be speaking any and every time somebody stick a microphone in my mouth or to my mouth, okay, and ask me a question. I wouldn't be like, I feel like I need to speak, right? She wasn't on an official capacity. She was traveling. So just because you stick a microphone in my face don't mean I need to oblige. You know what I mean? So I just kind of want to put that out there. And I know it's easy to, you know, the be mad and all that. I just try not to do that, because when I'm not logical, when I'm thinking about people and things, then I can't be logical. So
yeah, well, you know, she put her foot in her mouth when she's talking about, you can go to URL. Oh my God! But again, in Karen Bass's defense and stuff, I put this really on the people, because see, we have switched in our minds that these people are leaders. They're the servants. They're not the leaders. They're the servants. We're the leaders. We've got to unlearn what we've learned, just like Yoda said. We've got to unlearn what we've learned. They are the servants. They are the public servants. We're the leaders. That's the problem. We look at these people, well, you're the leader. No, you're not. You're a servant.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I like I said, I'm not in love with Karen Bass's politics, but I think we should, I'm just not gonna go along with the narratives that I see. I've learned not to do that because, kind of at one time I did. Uh, all right, Star Child, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Says, did you guys see the Life Fox is pushing that blacks are looting? Yes, using clips they chopped up, saving from their belongings. Yeah, of course they do. They always do that. They always gonna say black people are looting and this, that, and the other, but they never talk about their great granddaddies who was the original looters of America. You know what I mean? But everybody be out there looting. And I saw too, one thing I did not like about what California is doing is bringing in the National Guards, the guy to guard people's homes that have to evacuate. Is like, I think they could be doing other stuff. You're going to use a whole National Guards and make sure people's China's not stolen. It's like, give me a break. Brandy says, I only heard black baby. Yes. It says, please do more research on this. Nah, not feeling this BS. She was doing this to all color babies. Nah, I want the truth. Yeah, I'm telling you, that's what I researched. My research said that it was a fact that it was not just black babies, but it's boys. It was all boys. But somebody ran off with the narrative that she was doing that to just black babies. Were there black babies involved? Yes, but there were other babies as well from different races too. So I just want to kind of put that out there. Y'all can look it up. But yeah, we should be mad regardless, right? All right, so let's see who else is on here that I did not see. And Sherry says, I truly believe they wanted Trump to win so they would not look bad by sending the illegals back and had to be out of hand. And they didn't want to look bad, so they put her up knowing she was not going. She was going to lose. I truly believe the Democrat Party is tired of all these illegals too, but they did not want to look like the bad guy. Let Trump do it. Well, I think they thought that Biden was going to win and they was going to keep rocking and rolling. Or he was going to win a second time. That he was going to keep rocking and rolling with. And he said it when he was president-elect that this was going to go on, right? He kind of, in a way, let the cat out the bag. And I guess they thought he was going to win a second term and they was going to keep on doing what they're doing. And it did get out of hand. So I agree with you.
And even though it got out of hand, it was still their policy. So they got to own that.
Yeah. And Jesse says, right there, public service. The public is the leader, Donovan. Absolutely. CJ says, that's real, Miss D. We have to be responsible with information. Yeah, and like I said, I see people spewing misinformation all the time, and I just shake my head like, wow, you really could have just researched that. Jacoby, how you doing? Says, good afternoon, everyone. It was a mistake for Mayor Karen Bass to cut the budget. She didn't cut the budget. It says she should have made a surplus for the fire department just in case for things like this. She didn't cut the budget, and that was another misnomer, half truth, or whatever you want to call it. That's been going out there. She did not cut the budget. Actually, there's more in the budget. If you look at it, and it's been fact checked by Political and a whole host of other fact checking machines, says that it's a lie that she cut the budget. But unfortunately, it's easier to believe that she cut the budget because not you, but I'm saying people don't like her and they want to blame somebody for it. Let's keep it a buck. A lot of these millionaires and celebrities and everybody losing their homes, so they want to put it on her back. And I'm not a fan of Karen Bass, but I'm not a fan of lying either. So I just want to put that out there.
Right. Well, let me ask you this, I'm just going to play the devil's advocate here. You keep telling people to go to fact checking. I try to tell people, do your own research, come to your own conclusion, because who's controlling the fact check? And that's all I'm asking. Like, we say go to fact checking, but who's controlling that? Because just like the news media that is supposed to be neutral in their reporting, we see that they got politicized. So I'm just asking you, what is the criteria that they are the overall be all?
Well, I guess the same question could be true for who is telling the truth and putting lies out there. Okay. So you do your own research, you go to websites, you do whatever you need to do. And, I'm a pretty good researcher. I'll say that, could I be better? Yeah. I'm just saying you're right. You do your own research. But again, if it's a lie, it's a lie. Like I said, with the black baby, somebody ran off of that. It took me 2 minutes to find out that it was not just black babies. Again, it was black babies involved, but it wasn't just black babies. It took me, and I even heard this, and I listened to a lot of news stuff as I'm getting, ready and stuff. I heard them repeatedly say that it was a lie. My daughter heard them repeatedly say it was a lie that she cut the budget, and we looked, and it's not true. Now, for whatever reason, people looking at it, the way it reads, yeah, it could read that way, but if you actually continue digging, then it's like she didn't cut the budget. Listen, like I said, I don't have a reason to defend Karen Bass. But I'm not going to be up here lying to y'all because it's, it feels good to demonize a lady. She got a lot of other stuff working against her. Like the California is dealing with, now she is lying about the homelessness being, it's being fixed. It's not. She's lying about that.
$20 billion is missing.
She got a lot of issues.
Gavin, with the California state allocated to the homeless people, $20 billion is missing.
Yeah, so I don't know about the $20 billion, but I'm saying as far as her, saying, oh, we're getting a homelessness under wraps, like, you're not. And that's a lie. That's a fact that she's lying about that. But to say it's her fault, because at the end of the day, listen, I don't like Gavin Newsom's politics. I don't like hers. But if you just think a little bit, unless y'all believe in HARP, I don't know. Are they controlling the wind? Santa Ana winds are a thing. Listen, I'm born and raised in California. So I know all about the Santa Ana winds. They kick up from 2 to 3, 4, 5 in the afternoon, every afternoon. And it gets worse during what they call windy season, right? So it's not like the winds just came out of nowhere. But if you think about what people are saying, it's like, well, did they control the wind? I don't know. Did Karen, unless she got something in her pocket in Ghana, they did. So we have to think about it in terms like that. And I know somebody needs to be blamed, but I don't know.
Yeah, and I'm gonna add to that. Okay, yeah, she's the mayor and all that other stuff, but she needs approval for those budgets to go by. So why isn't any blame going to the city council? She can't do a budget by herself. They have to approve that within the council. So again, I know she's the leader and the buck stops with her, but when you're dealing with the dais and a city council type government, no, it doesn't stop with her. It doesn't stop with her. You had how many members of the LA City Council? I think there's 9 members or something like that.
Yeah, about that. 9 or 11.
Yeah, 9 or 11 members. So you got 9 or 11 members that are also responsible, but she's the one getting all the heat. But as the mayor, just like you see what's going on in Dalton, the mayor can only do so much compared to the other council members. They have equal power. So, you got to spread the wealth a little bit. So if the budget was cut, as everybody says it was, obviously there's other people involved other than Karen Bass that was involved in that. And for all we know, from what I've been reading from different reports, I've never seen Karen Bass say, I was the one that wanted the thing cut. For all we know, it could have been, 4 or 5 of the Hispanic council members that were like, yeah, we'll take that money and do this with it. I've never heard of Karen Bass saying, I want these things cut. So we got to do our research on it.
Joey, how you doing? Says I visited the VA hospital this morning, and usually you'll see the president and vice president picture on the wall, but Kamala Harris picture wasn't there. I wonder why. I've been to some VAs and I can't recall. Maybe I just wasn't looking.
We got a lot of conservatives in the military, trust me, depending on because at my VA, her picture's still up. Everybody's still up over there. But I've been to some VAs, like you said, and some of them, they don't have her picture up. So it depends.
Yeah, the one I heard, I've only in that, but listen, I don't want to profess to be. My password has changed, huh? I don't profess to be like a VA expert, but I've only seen the presidents out here. But again, I wasn't really looking like that, so don't hold me on none of that. Dwayne, he says she still got rehired, which is crazy. And who got rehired, if you don't mind me asking?
And Demetri, what are you doing in the VA hospital when you're not a veteran? I know you've been trying to get your benefits, but it ain't gonna happen. Okay.
That's what I've been doing. I'm like, listen, all that I've done for this country.
Right, you're producing veteran babies and all that other good stuff.
Yeah, I need to get something. Well, a veteran baby. Okay. CJ says they're not going to blame Newsom. Oh no, he says goes back to paying attention to local government. The budget is open for public record. That is absolutely correct. Anissa, how you doing? Says that scene with Obama and Trump keep kikiing it up. It let Kamala know that she's not a part of the club, members only. Yeah, and Obama looked at her like, what you looking at? You don't get to check me. That's Michelle's job. And Michelle tried to check me. I'm going to remind her when she was kikiing with Bush, when they was passing peppermints and stuff. Facts Not Feelings says, peace and love, family. Tone Talks YouTube's channel said it because they're not collecting enough taxes from the millions of dollar homes to sustain the city. I mean, that may or may not be true. I think there's a lot going on. I think because California is a blue state, Los Angeles definitely is blue, right? and there's a lot of migrants running around. We know that California is paying $2.6 billion for undocumented people or their health care, no matter what their status is. So you got $2.6 billion to do that. And he was trying to give them $150,000 home loans. So if you got money to do all of that, yeah, why? Well, and let's say this too. I've never been on a fire department or anything like that, but I think if we're being logical, common sense would tell you that any fire department would be stretched with the amount of fires that they were battling all at one time. In addition, they were having a hard time getting other fire departments to come in or go into Los Angeles, which it sounds like they have now. But there was a lot going on. They were stretched completely thin, using upwards of 800 inmates, if I'm not mistaken, to help fight those fires. They're only making like $5 something to $10 something dollars an hour. Some of them working 24 hours, around the clock. And I, like a lot of other people, are calling for California. Hey, let those men go, or women, if whoever it is that's the inmates that are fighting those fires, let them go. After they get through fighting those fires and saving these wealthy people homes and properties and stuff, y'all need to let them go. Because if there's such a danger, they wouldn't be out there in the first place. They're in like minimum security, like fire camps and stuff like that. So they need to let them go. Not only do they need to let them go, because now they can apply to be a fireman, but they have to get their records expunged. So it's a process, right? So I move past the expungement and just say, hey, they are eligible to be hired. Even if they have a felony, they are eligible to be hired because they are fully trained firemen, firefighters, right? But then when they get out, as I said, they can't get a job, right? But they need to let them go and hire them on, since y'all having a shortfall, as far as manpower at the fire department, hire those inmates on, period.
No. Kamala Harris didn't want that. She kept people past their sentences and the slave labor of it, but people voted for Kamala regardless. They didn't care that she was.
But Kamala ain't out there doing that now. That's a whole different horse of a different color. That's Gavin and all of them. They can make it happen.
Yeah. Oh no, absolutely. Absolutely. But this is the type of stuff we're talking about. And like I said, I'm not dogging anybody out that doesn't live in California. This is the stuff we tried to educate you guys about when it came to the Kamala Harris regime. But a lot of people, Black people, did not care that she was locking up single mothers and Black people for weed convictions and all this other stuff. This is the duocracy of why this woman was not Black, because again, it's just lunacy to me. How we complain about this and we complain about that. There is nothing in this woman's record, even though she's not the topic of this story. But the point is that she shows that she was progressive. And I hate the way they use progressive now, because what they're doing is not progressive. She was forward thinking enough to look out for Black people to better our lives. There's nothing in her record that proves that.
Juana, how you doing? It says I covered the nurse in Virginia. Yes, we did. And as I said, they were saying it was just Black babies. It was proven that it wasn't just Black babies. It was other babies as well, but they weren't all boys that she was doing that too. So I just want to, kind of clarify that. But how you doing anyway? Liz, did I say hello to you? If not, hello. He says the fire chief says she cut the budget so they didn't have as much equipment as they needed or as much staff. And Gavin Newsom shut off water going to the high. Yeah, that's not true. Gavin Newsom didn't cut off the water. But again, I know that's the stuff that's out there, but that's not true as well. I just think what people forget is California does have a fire season and a windy season. And as Gavin Newsom said, that's all year now. It's not just a season. So the blame is mostly on Mother Nature. And I think it's easy for people to place the blame and this, that, and the other. And you hear a lot of stuff that's just kind of like, wow, but at the end of the day, it was an act of Mother Nature, God, if you will. And some of us who are aware, I saw some of y'all saying this, if you know, you know. Well, hold on a second. If you know, you know. It's all I'm going to say. If you know, you know. And if you don't know, get this book so you will know. I'm going to just put that right there. Hey, brother Reggie, how you doing? Are you right on time? We got a couple of more moments. Offset, he says, I live in Atlanta, and today we have 3 to 4 inches of snow. I heard, and there are hundreds of homeless people. Yeah, what they going to do with them, right? But yeah, I heard that you guys are going through a snowstorm as well. Yeah, I was about to go think it says facts. Santa Ana wins. Ain't no joke. Yeah, that's what they do. Raven says the only thing not a lie about Karen Bass is she all in for sombrero crew. You crazy, and not a damn thing for Black people. There you go. Tell the truth. Star Child says, Demetri, the news story I saw said Black boy with some being mixed. Yeah, they said they were different They were all different kinds, races rather, I should say, but they weren't all black boys like the story, or black babies. They were all boys, but not all black boys. I just kind of want to put that out there because I know, you know, sometimes stories grow legs, but it's been proven that those babies are not all black. They are all boys, though. So I wanted to put that out there. Queen Adaya says riots not getting under wraps. He says, look at Skid Row right on the steps of the police station. Okay. Jesse says, I'm not even from California and I know about Santa Ana winds. Yeah, they kick up.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, in my neighborhood, and I'm 60 miles east of Los Angeles. Remember, Los Angeles is right on the beach. I mean, it's right there by the ocean. And I'm 60 miles inland. And we had winds that were going 49 miles an hour. So,
yeah. Hey, K-Mac, how you doing? Thank you. Love and appreciate you for that. Says, salute, I just joined the channel. Thank you and welcome. Average Logical Thinker says, Demetra raises morale of soldiers and veterans everywhere she goes. Yes, I do. And I need to be compensated for that. Give me my compensation. I want to be at 100% at least. Duh. Liz says they have been warning them for years to water and keep foliage wet and clean. Foliage are on the ground. Yeah, another thing too is California is in a drought. California has been in a drought. Probably with the exception of the last couple of years, it rained a lot, but it's still a drought. California has been in a drought for probably a decade plus at this point. So California is just dry, and the dry with the winds, and a whole host of other factors. So I think Donovan froze up for whatever reason, or maybe it's me. I don't know. We'll see. Marion, how you doing? Says the VA posts only the president and his chosen VA chief pictures. That's what I thought. Oh, I guess we must have glitched.
It's the program.
Okay, yeah. So that was weird. You were frozen. Was I frozen as well? No. Okay. Brother Reddy says Jill Biden gave a Camry the stole cone left shoulder at Jimmy's funeral. Yeah, I've seen her do that to her once before, so I'm not sure what that's about. Sister Shirley, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Brother Reggie says one firefighter said he had been up 96 hours. Yeah, they are stretched completely thin.
Yeah, I think he was exaggerating a little bit. You can't be up 96 hours. That's totally impossible.
Yeah. Star Child says, do you guys honestly think that if she hurt white babies too, she would have just been put on paid leave, then get her job back after hurting white babies? I mean, I don't know all that's going on there, but it's been factual that she's not hurting. I look, because I was going to cover the story. Unless, somebody out there lying at the hospital and all like that, because like I said, I was going to cover the story, but I was not going to cover it from a standpoint that she was doing it to only black babies, because then from what I know, from a standpoint that I see right now, it wouldn't be true. So I have to have some integrity, but it sucks nevertheless.
Yeah, and I just want to add, for those of you guys that aren't from California, California does some of the dumbest stuff. We spent $3 billion that we gave the contract to Dianne Feinstein to build a speeding train that goes nowhere. I mean, all this money is just being thrown out, no common sense. 90% of all rainwater and ice that's melted from the Shasta Mountains and the Big Bear and all these mountains, 90% of that is washed into the ocean. That is a fact. We have aqueducts, but the point is, the infrastructure to capture all that water. And I don't know if you guys heard Trump even talking about it, even some experts, they were saying that there's enough water to actually fill the plains and make California green in that middle area, like by Bakersfield and stuff like that. But for some reason, we have 90% of that water that just washes into the ocean, and it isn't being utilized. In Southern California, that's why Northern California kind of wants to separate from Southern California, because we're drier than them, and we're dependent on that aqueduct to bring us water down to Southern California. It's totally messed up the way the thought patterns are here.
Liz, you says the last time Trump was there in California, he warned governor to keep water on the ground and wet the trees. And he also told them they need to sweep the forest floor.
Called mitigating the brush.
Andre, he says, was Kamala ever governor of California? No, she was not.
No, and a lot of people use that as an excuse to why, like when I say, she had power to this. When you're the attorney general, you don't need to go through the legislation to initiate policies and rules that work its way into law. the truancy law that actually happened under Kamala Harris's AG appointment during her time. The voters didn't vote on that. That was something that she implemented through the assembly. The people did not vote on that. See, so the AG has a power where they can put stuff in that nobody has to vote on, and it's like a law, and that's just how it worked. She didn't have to be governor to do that. She was using, there was another policy she did where she wanted to check people's guns. And there's a video of her actually saying, we can go into your house and make sure that your gun is registered to you and all that other stuff. And she got a big pushback on that. And that was taken out of her policy.
I want to say too that I read right before I came on here, Kamala's house is said to be in the evacuation zone as well. So I just want to put that out there. Asha, how you doing? Says she was in charge for one baby. I wonder which baby. Sounds like it was quite a few because it was a man who had a set of twins and their legs were broken and they didn't know how. One of them was, and he didn't know how. You know, he said he was afraid to hold them because they were in the NICU where the babies are in intensive care. He said he didn't want to hold the baby because he didn't want to be blamed, for something happening to him. And they didn't know what was going on with the babies. And he said his mother-in-law was a nurse, and she was like, yeah, something ain't right. So he had twins. Just want to put that out there. And how you doing, by the way? Brother Ray says it's 5:58 here, but I had to be up to watch this live. You better go to sleep. It was a Saturday morning there. And Andre says 5 to 9 inches of snow here in Arkansas. Our reddest state ever. Yeah, Dallas they said it got a lot of snow as well. Brenda says I love the channel much. Feeling this. He says a white woman killing the color of all those babies. I want the real. Yeah, I'm assuming the truth will come out. But from what I've read so far, the babies were not all black. Hey DSB, thank you so much for becoming a member for 10 months. Love and appreciate you for that. And how you doing, by the way? Andre says we do have some blue islands here and there. And KB, how you doing? It says New York has the best fire department in the country, and they are paid very well. All first responders throughout the country should be paid properly. They save lives and put theirs on the line. Yeah. Also in Houston, the mayor gave them a raise. The new mayor, Whitmire, and he's also paying them retroactively for not getting the money that they should have gotten. So I agree with you. I think all first responders should be paid well.
Yeah. Well, actually, firefighters are, of course. Firefighters, one of the only organizations around the country where nepotism is very prevalent to get on board with those guys. But here in California, they work 4 off, 3 on, full benefits, and these guys are paid in excess of $5,000, $6,000 a month, depending on what municipality you're in. I can say for Riverside County, those guys are paid $7,000 plus, and that's just first day on the job.
Yeah, Daryl. And hey, one who cares, how you doing? He says, Daryl, the fires are still raging. Could we see a similar Hawaii situation, people swimming in the ocean while their property burns? Yeah, and then I've seen a lot of other conspiracy theories that people are burning, those properties are being burnt so people can go and swoop up the land, which is prime real estate. PCH is right there on the ocean. CJ says, laugh out loud at Mr. Donovan calling that lady's lies out. That's true, though. My uncle was a firefighter, and they have caps. Yeah, logical thing, it says journalistic integrity is a must. Respect yeah, it has to be. We don't always get it right, but it has to be right. And I know a lot of times people say what they think they want, people want to hear, but at the end you'll pay for that. Be lying for likes. I ain't gonna do it, not on purpose anyway. Star Child says at the end of the day, that nurse is sicko. Period. Right? Asha says she was charged for one baby. I wonder if it was a white baby. Yeah, we guess we'll find out, right? Because it's going to be public records, I'd imagine. Raven says, Demetri Donovan, did y'all see where a black woman told white organizers to go to hell when asked to participate in Women's March June 18th? I actually did a story that's not out yet on the African Diaspora News Channel. It's being edited on black women saying they're not going to participate in the Women's March. Interesting. FM says, use half the moisture in Gavin Newsom. You crazy. Gavin Newsom hair, problem solved. I got you, Star Child. It says, you saw, yeah, I did see, I guess it was a Hispanic man. They were saying, set the fire. I don't know how much I believe of that. Talking about he was walking around with a blowtorch. I don't know. I'm not saying it didn't happen, but it just seems kind of weird. I think they trying to maybe put the blame on somebody. I'm drinking a green juice. That's what's in my Hello Kitty cup, green juice. So I can be healthier. Hey, Mrs. White, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Mr. South Carolina, what's going on with you? Says injustice handed out in U.S. court today to let defiant. Let me see. Where'd your comment go? It says to let defendant who escaped to serve as president. If you really thought that President Trump was going to be, he's found guilty, but he's not going to jail. He's never going to jail. And that's the other thing too. See, this is why we got to learn to listen for ourselves. Now, the Democrats ran around gaslighting, telling people, oh, he started the Supreme Court. Oh, the Supreme Court is going to rule for him. Oh, Justice Roberts and Amy Barrett basically said, nah, you ain't above the law. We're not going to give you your way. And those are conservative judges that were handpicked. Well, not Roberts, but Amy was, handpicked by that of Trump. So they sided with the liberals. So that's another theory that's debunked that, oh, he stacked the courts in his favor. Then he ain't going to jail. I mean, what does it make it? He's a felon. He's a billionaire. He's the president of the United States. It ain't like he's Jerome or Jamal that need to go get a job somewhere and he got the mark off felon. You know what I mean? He kind of different.
But and then they told him he can appeal. So they're kind of giving him an out to appeal the conviction to take it off his record. So, again, white supremacy, be it left or right, it doesn't matter. This was all political theater. The Democrats are for illegal immigration. So are the Republicans. Do you want to know why both parties are for immigration? Because they're controlled by corporations. The corporations do not want to pay you, the American taxpayer, the American citizen, $25, $35, $45 an hour with full benefits when they can get these illegals to come in here and do it for $7. That's what this is all about. And I want to say Mad Dog Jack says the West Coast is burning and the East Coast is freezing. Absolutely.
Yeah, if you look at the map, it's almost half and half. It's crazy what's really going.
Yep, and I want you guys to think about this, Demetra, because I'm over here on the West Coast, and this is what they did to us last year. Because the East Coast was freezing, my electric bill went up, my gas bill went up because of the supply and the demand or something like that. There's more demand over there, so we have to pay more over here, some craziness.
And Tyrone, the mayor did not cut funding for emergencies. That she did not do that. And welcome. Hey, Mike, nice. What's going on with you? Brother Thunder, how you doing? Are you keeping warm? It is rather cold here in Houston. I don't say so myself. It's really cold. Michelle, how you doing? He says, he said he didn't have a lighter, so he had a blowtorch to light his cigarette. Oh, Lord. CJ says, I can't wait for that video. I enjoyed the video where you called the woman out for jumping in men's conversation. Some sisters don't know when to chill. Yeah, she was proud of that. Proud that she, ran off the white man who was acting crazy up in those Indian people restaurants. It's like they wouldn't have did the same thing for you. They'd have watched you get your butt beat and then, be shaking their heads like, and you go, you being she woman up in they doggone restaurant. I bet you they'd even give you nothing free. They probably slid your ass the tab and was waiting for the tip. Asha says, is Newsom really trying to save the smelt fish? What? I don't know what that's about.
That's what Trump was telling him about when it came to that water bill. There was a bill, I think 3 years ago. No, maybe 5 years ago. A bill came up and Gavin Newsom did not want to sign it because if he had signed it, it would have brought that 90% of water that we rushed into the ocean to bring it to California. But it is said and it's alleged that the reason why Governor Newsom didn't want to do that is because it would encroach and bring more water into a habitat of the smelt fish and would kind of destroy them.
Queen Adia says, yes, that's exactly what I read as well. It says, as of January 3rd, 2025, Aaron Elizabeth Strautman, at age of 26, did something similar in the summer of 2023 involving 4 babies. The end of November 2024 is involving 3 babies. They are reviewing the videos. Yep, that's exactly what they said. They also said that they were not all black babies, but all boys. Yes, Andre, all politics is theater. You better believe it. Hit 23 says the Bible says standing where ought not to be. And then your comment cut off. And Osher says they wasn't going to put him in jail. He has a Secret Service detail as a former president. Where they going? Right. They going to be in there with him, even in solitary confinement. You know, it's like, come on. But people, they believe all the nonsense.
Look, Trump's on the yard. He got his boys running the whole thing. I need your commissary. You know what I mean? I got my boys. I need your commissary.
You're like, yeah, no, I'm not eating that potted meat. Schmeat, I'm not eating that. You better give me my quarter pounder and my Big Mac that I'm always eating. K-Mac says, you have to remember this country was built on cheap labor. You better talk about it. Absolutely. Frank, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Andre says, since the West Coast is burning, will the East Coast water bill increase? So I don't know. I ain't on the West Coast or the East Coast. I'm in the middle. Kind of like the South, sort of, kind of. Thunder says, did the honorable minister say there will be fire on the West Coast and ice on the East Coast? It said it all. Said all of that. Read this book, Fall of America. Honorable Elijah Muhammad did talk about the hills burning, not necessarily in this book, but, you know, in other things, about the hills burning and all of that. Talks about the 4 calamities in this book. Let's see if I can find it real quick. I know I ain't going to be able to earmark it, because I always reference it. But it's a snow, hail, earthquakes, and the other one I think is fire. No, not fire. Hold on. I'll find it before we leave, because I want to be accurate. But nevertheless, let me get to it. Brother Reddy says, when Trump was still in office, he told a new scum, y'all got a whole lot of names for them, while they were in the forest, how to get more water down from the north. But old Gavin wanted to save the schmelt. Mike says, weren't there civil charges? Well, that at the January 6th, no, those weren't civil charges.
No, the charges he's under now, paying for the porn star, that was a civil charge. That was one of them. But out of the 32, those were civil charges because of the amount of what he did. It's like, you know, here in California, when you have that, if it's over $1,000, it becomes a felony and stuff like that. That's what happened, where it became a federal charge. So it started out as civil, then because of the amount, it went to a federal charge.
So the difference between those charges, say it with me, is criminal and civil. Civil is punitive, monetary, you know, a remedy, righting the wrong in that fashion. Criminal is Trump versus the state, Trump, or the state versus Trump, you know, the feds versus Trump. So that's the difference. But I'm sure you guys already knew that. Arlene, how you doing? You says, well, Obama, is it Obama? Is it versus Trump? Obama and Trump. I think that's what you're trying to say. They are cousins, you know, still disrespectful. I don't think Obama and Trump are cousins. Obama and Cheney. It's actually Obama and Dick Cheney are supposed to be cousins somehow, distant cousins or something like that. And maybe Bush as well. Who knows? Lady Diana says he wanted to save the tiny fish. Californians are kind of built like that sometimes, with the green smoothies and lattes and, you know, vegan food, and, you know, they want to save the fish. No, my raccoon is over there smashed under some bath towels. I don't know why, but he is. K-Max says, what do you think the chances are the FBAs will get restoration under this administration? Slim to none, but God has the final say so. Okay, I don't care what you believe. As has always been said, especially by the messenger and the minister, that America needs to atone for the original sin of slavery, and they refuse to do it, right? Ask yourself this. Compton ain't burning. Now, as far as I know, Baldwin Hills ain't burning. What's, you know, left of some of the black neighborhoods, like I said, what's left, those areas aren't burning. And, you know, the other crazy part about it is my daughter was telling me this not too long ago. She says, do you know that because our neighborhoods, black neighborhoods, they don't have a lot of trees that's done out of racism? I said, no, I do tell. She says, because They purposely do not put trees and greenery and stuff in those neighborhoods because it keeps it hot. And and a whole host of other things. Says that's why the hoods are normally hotter, because they don't have the vegetation and things like that. So I was talking to her yesterday, saying, so they being racist, not planting trees in the hood, and look what happened. Now all the nice little neighborhoods with all the trees, they up in smoke. Won't he do it? See what I'm saying? You can't play with God. You cannot out legislate God. You cannot do it. Like I always say, and it's always been said, our ancestors were taught Christianity, especially, here in America, on those plantations. So in that very same Bible that they keep saying, oh, it's the same today, yesterday, and forever, all this other stuff. If you believe that you got to get back what you put out there, then you must believe that what you did to Black people on those plantations, you got to get that back. And since you ain't got it back, you got it coming. Right now, I'm not gloating about what's going on in California, but it's not just California. We're seeing all over the country where strange things are happening. What they're saying is strange, right? But, like North Carolina, Ashton, North Carolina is a predominantly white town who they said is a sundown town. That whole town is gone during one of the last hurricanes that happened a couple of months ago. So I know a lot of people say, well, okay, you keep on saying that. But God is not a man that he should lie. And Black people, our ancestors, did not deserve what they have gone through and what we are still going through. My sister says she was asked in her teacher, break room or whatever, to help raise money for the victims in North Carolina. They're still recovering. That whole town is damn near gone. And she says, no, I'm good. And so she says, one of the teachers was like, well, why not? They really need our help. She says, was they fundraising when my people were swinging in them trees? She said the whole break was like, what? So she said a white guy, she said it's pretty cool, whatever, says, no, my uncle's from Ashton, North Carolina, and it is a sundown town. He says, I know they say it's not, but he says it's a sundown town. So he says, no, I ain't going to be raising no money for that either. So you could, keep being, in denial, but we see what's going on. Let's see here. Tyrone says, how far is the fire from downtown Los Angeles?
Yeah, I answered that. About 20-minute drive up the PCA, about 20 minutes.
Yes. Obama. So Michelle says Obama and Bush are cousins. Yeah, and I heard Dick Cheney was as well. So they all related, right? Thunder says the idea that Trump was going to be sitting in prison, walking, right? Come on now, walking the yard with Secret Service members in the back, pumping iron and collecting cigarettes, all while wearing shades and earpieces. Come on now, but yeah, that's what I said. What happens when you don't think for yourself? When you go with all these talking points and Twitter points and all this other stuff, you don't just be logical, right? Like really, come on, Jesus would have a better chance of going to jail than Trump. And I ain't trying to be, sacrilegious. And I'm just saying, Dwayne says, fact, Demetri, we are watching who's being destroyed. Come on now. If you know, you know. Queen of Dice says, speak, Demetri. They mess with the apple of Yahweh's eye. And that's us. You better believe it. Raven says, America is going into divine punishment and it won't be pretty. And it ain't pretty. It ain't pretty at all. Hits 23 says 10 days in jail or fine vacated. Yeah, right. CJ says God doesn't like ugly. He may take a while for vengeance, but when he does, yeah. And part of that is because we are supposed to be waking up as well, right? That's why they say in the nation separation of death. The Bible says, "Come out from among ye them and be ye separate." Those are all for a reason, right? And so when that's for us, we're also supposed to be waking up in the process. So there's a lot going on. Just watch it unfold, but be in right standing while you're watching it. Yeah, Rose, how you doing?
Yeah, but a lot of people are waking up, so that is good. Again, like I said, when you've got 30% of Black people that cost Kamala the election, that's significant numbers.
Oh yeah, we're waking up, but just sit back and watch. Make sure you got your stuff together. That's all I'm saying. Michelle says, my daughter told me the same thing years ago about the trees not being in Black neighborhoods. Yeah, now it's catching up to them, right? Y'all done hogged all the trees in your neighborhood, and now it's like fuel for the fire. But the Black neighborhoods, you go to any Black neighborhood, they don't have vegetation and all that stuff going on. It is racist. They said if you think about it, and they've done data and research and stuff, the neighborhoods are always hotter than it is in the suburbs where there's vegetation and trees and stuff. And that's all by design.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, Demetri. A lot of my family members, reached out to me, see if I'm okay and all this other stuff. They go, well, the Black neighborhoods and stuff. I said, what Black neighborhoods? What Black neighborhoods in California? We've been gentrified out. There are no Black neighborhoods out here.
Yeah. Yeah, you can say that barely, right? CJ says, and I enjoy Biltmore, but it's creepy out there at night. Yeah, but they were trying to say, yeah, it's not, no sun downtown. And people was like, you lying. Andre says TikTok talking points. Where's today's journalism? There's a lot of good stuff on TikTok. You just gotta vet it with anything. You gotta vet it because people will dress the truth up and the lie up to be the truth, and people just run with it. It's like, now come on now. I see people post some of the craziest stuff, and it's like, you really believe that? Like, that didn't seem funny to you? And then a lot of other people will share it and post it, and I didn't know. It's like, yeah, you still don't know because it ain't true. Mrs. South Carolina says strange things are happening every day. Sung by Sister Rosetta Tharpe, godmother of rock and roll. Yep, and she does not get the credit she deserves in the conversation, right? Andre says, quoting scriptures left and right, context matters. And Ais, how you doing? Says, yes, we are waking up. Yeah, Brother Raider says, if Trump went to jail, that would be the most cushy, come on now, club fed. And he would have a key to get in and out. Talking about, I'm going to Mar-a-Lago for the weekend. Y'all hold it down until I get back.
What do you mean go to Mar-a-Lago? They'll probably put an ankle bracelet on it and let him reside down there during his time, if that was the case.
But that was not for y'all, but for them. And them. That was for them to keep them mad. I can't tell you how many times I heard people say, he's got 35 felonies. Oh my God. Just like your daddy do too. And you don't say nothing about him not being able to do stuff in life. You know what I mean? But that was the red meat they gave people. They said 34 felonies. That's what people did. And that's what it was used for. I'm just saying. Jacoby says, anybody remember the history of the Devil's Punch Bowl? I've heard about the Devil's Punch Bowl, but if it's anything with the devil and some punch bowl, it can't be good. CJ says they believe it, Miss D. If folks look to God, they will lie to themselves too. Okay. Jesse says neither does Big Mama Thornton. She doesn't get the credit. Yeah, she does. She doesn't. You'll hear them mention her, but I know they'll talk about Chuck Berry and all that, but it goes way back past that, right? Damn show. Elvis Presley was a vulture culture. He was one of the triple OGs of it,
Wait. And speaking of which, hip hop news real quick. Fat Joe stepping down as the host of the BET Awards, because you guys know he's hosted it 3 years in a row. And he's saying that he's going to give it to, 6 chains, 8 chains, whatever many chains he's got. Yeah, 2 chains. He's going to let him host it like, he's benevolent to step down, whatever. No, Fat Joe, we know why you're stepping down, because FBA is on that neck. That's why you're stepping down, because think about it. If he hosted this year, his ass would get booed out of the venue.
I'm drinking my green juice because I've seen people talk about Fat Joe on the BT. Let me let me get a good swallow. I gotta watch what I say on here. Can I ask y'all a question? Hey, Vernon, how you doing? Why do y'all give a damn if Kermit the Frog, 2 Chainz, 14 Chains, Fat Joe, Lil Joe's mama and daddy? Why do y'all care if they host the BET Awards? BET Awards ain't owned by Black people. That's owned by Paramount, which owns BET, and that's one of the whitest conglomerates of media in the world. And here we are talking about BET as if it was owned by Bob Johnson. You know what I mean? Who cares? I really ask, if Fat Joe stepped down for the pressure, I get it. He said, okay, great, whatever. I don't watch that bullshit. Excuse my French. I really don't. I have to be trying not to cuss on here, but it just slipped. But I'm just saying, it's we get wrapped up into some of the silliest stuff. If it ain't silly to you, I'm not telling you not for it to be silly. It's just silly to me. We don't own BET. We who banging over something we don't own.
Yeah.
If those white people wanted, Humberto from Mexico to host the BET Awards, what the hell is anybody gonna do about it? Nothing.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's the fact that it's BET or whatever. Who gives a damn? We all know about that. It's the fact that these cultural vultures keep coming into our culture and trying to decide this is that. I'm glad that we're getting to a point to where we are delineating from these other groups. And that's how we got it. It's 2025. People are waking up. this is another indication that people are waking up, because it's not really important. But the fact of the matter is, get your ass on, Fat Joe. You made millions of dollars off of us. And, you know, and I'm not a Fat Joe guy, or I don't even know some of his stuff. But get your ass on and go about your business, because it's a new day.
Again, I wish this was like some vodka in here, but I'm trying to. I don't drink. I don't drink at all. I don't even know why I said that. But anyway, we talking about culture vultures. Yes, Fat Joe is a culture vulture. But y'all more mad at Fat Joe for encroaching upon the culture than you are them white folks that took BET and turned it to anything and everything. Y'all more mad at Fat Joe ain't got no power either. Them white folks got BET and they tell y'all what to think, what to drink, and everything else in between. But see, that's the part that I have not. And I'm not just with Fat Joe, but with us. Like I said, let's take Cooking with Kaya, for example. Black women organized, and probably some other women too, because they men was looking at Kaya, organized on Cooking with Kaya to try to, they banned her channel, sound like she got it back. They organized on her, but all these white folks that really do you harm, they still up and popping, hot and popping. So it's like when you, and I get it, listen, Fat Joe is a culture vulture, okay? We gonna just put that right there. But the biggest culture vulture that has a bigger impact on the culture than Fat Joe is them people who own BET. White folks cosplaying as, you know, they telling black people what to do. And the other thing too is, you know who else is bad for the culture is Tyler Perry, and not Nan Negro say nothing about it past Twitter. He should, every time he make a movie, it could be about this lip gloss and with a dress and a wig on, and Negro's gonna show up and make it number one. So I'm saying we just kind of need to prioritize. Yeah, Fat Joe, yeah, it's time for the delineation. But if you really want to make a move, I almost said the F word. I came dangerously close. Put BET out of business, because ask yourself this. White folks own BET. Do white folks watch BET? Hell to the no. You know who watches it? That's us. We watch that garbage and that filth that they put on there. And he's hosting the hip hop awards, which we know what hip hop today is about. They ain't talking about no UNITY. Ain't no X-Clan finna be up there. The Public Enemy of back in the day, and I ain't talking about the one today. They not finna be up there. They gonna have Glorilla, Sexy Red, Megan Thee Stallion, and all this other low-hanging fruit up there. And this is what we talking about as black people. You mad at Fat Joe, who is also part of the degradation, but you ain't mad at them people who pulling the puppet strings? Come on now, black people. We gotta rearrange the way we think about stuff. See, that's the Fat Joe is a distraction. That's the same thing about the Asians. They set up all those shops in our neighborhood. Why you don't see Asians in the chicken and rice houses? Why you don't see Asians going in those beauty supplies? I don't never see them nowhere. Not that I go to the chicken rice house, but I guarantee you they ain't loading up they stomachs with the big old boxes of chicken and rice. They doing that to us. So if you don't see they people engaging in stuff, why are we doing it? Sometimes we got to really ask ourselves, what the hell am I arguing about this nonsense for? It's nonsense. Like I said, if you really want to send a message, shut BET down. Have no black people watching the hip hop awards when it come on until they put on better programming. That's what we could do. I'm gonna just say that. Lady Diana says, I really don't care. I never watch BET. I don't have BET either. You know what I mean? And the times that I have watched it, I ain't talking about back in the day. You know, even the stuff, the filth, you have to be, what was it, late at BET at night or whatever it was, where you get to watch the salacious stuff. You know, King Shaw, how you doing? Says 2 Chainz is corny ass host anyway. Laugh out loud. He could barely. I think you meant speak. Yeah, I didn't even get the 2 Chainz thing either. Our Negro says it shouldn't be called BET anymore anyway, right? And white folks, I did a story on this. It'd be called WET for white folks because they making that stuff, right? Yeah. Since Donnie Simpson left, Brother Reggie, it's. Ugh. Jacoby says, I stopped watching BT a long time ago. Osher says, we're gatekeeping regardless of where it's shown. Like, you ain't gatekeeping nothing. You think you gatekeeping. How you going to gatekeep something you ain't got a pink slip to? That's like me going into my neighbor house talking about I'm gatekeeping. Because you up in here frying fried chicken. I'm gatekeeping that. You know how you gatekeeping something you ain't got the goddamn key to? Y'all see how silly that sounded? You know what it sounds like? I love the delineation, but that sounds like this my block. What set you claim? This is my neighborhood. Okay, is it really show me the goddamn pink slip to any building that or the deed that you own or any of these buildings? I don't own the deed. then get the hell out of my way until you do own the deed. When we own the deed to BET, then we can have that conversation. But until then, we just bumping, and thumb thugging. That's all we doing. And I love y'all dearly, but come on, let's be sensible about some of the stuff we riding for. We ride for degradation in the first place. I'm just saying. Yeah, we haven't owned it in 25 years. Yep. Let's see who else is on here. Trying to I see y'all comments. I just want to King Shy said, did you watch the 10 Black video with Jasmine Crockett? She says she spends money on her district by giving clean air and saying she shouldn't give Black money. And yeah, I don't pay attention to Jasmine Crockett. That she's the sister girl that keeps peace. She's the red meat for Black people, for Black women. She's sister girls a lot for, she's a younger version of Maxine Waters when she was reclaiming her time and straightening her wig. CJ said, did y'all see that cute little baby boy who was correcting his mom when she tried to make her own song like Cooking with Kaya? It was hilarious and cute. No, I didn't see it. Don't ask me how you doing. I hope you're doing well. As Eddie says, Fat Joe is a vulture that eats 50% of the caucus. But the other thing is, how did Fat Joe come up in here? Who let Fat Joe in the culture? You know what I mean? We should have been gatekeeping a long time ago. Black people don't own hip hop. We don't. We used to. We don't own it now. Y'all know who own it now, but nobody want to have that conversation. Y'all don't want to stop listening to that stuff. We don't own hip hop. We don't have a pink slip to hip hop anymore. And as I always say, they not selling that stuff to their people, but that's who they think is acceptable for your daughters and your sons. We don't own that. Why would you want to own that? I'm just asking. And I know somebody's going to get mad, but I love y'all anyway. Soto, how you doing? Oh, thank you. Star Child says oops, what'd you say? Your comment skipped up. And we about to get out of here. Diane, how you doing? Says people still watch BET that filth. Apparently they do. They fighting about it. John, you say you talk about stocks, owning land, and traveling while being better people, your channel would die. Yeah, I said too much and I'll drink my green juice. I try to do that. And people just aren't interested. And mostly everybody on here, they're interested, but a lot of people aren't interested. If I talk about that, it'll, be the regular people, but people just aren't. I'd love to talk about it. I really would. Anyway, we're going to get out of here, but let me see. Buck Horse, how you doing? Where have you been? What are you up to today? Soto, you says, Demetri, you would have made a great Black Panther Party member. You know what? I take that as a compliment. I love you for that. Corey say FBA. All right now. Brother Reddy says, Sherry Carter. Oh yeah, Sherry Carter. Yeah, all of them. When you think that Sherry Carter be talking about next coming up, the video we have is Sexy Red, and she's gonna bust it wide open on video.
See, obviously, you guys didn't watch BT in the good old days. Sherry Carter didn't have nothing on Bev Smith. Sorry. Black voices. Bev Smith was driving.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Bev Smith, she's still around. Yeah, beautiful chocolate woman. Beautiful. Thunder says, I stopped watching BET years ago when Hurricane Katrina hit. Every other channel was covering, but not BET. And that's when I realized I need to stop watching and get better informed. Come on now. Come on. And he said, I love jazz music. Me too. Brother, he says, and it says Madeline Woods. Okay, I'm done. More threads. How you doing? Thank you so much. Love and appreciate you. Says, I'm glad that Fat Joe got checked. There needs to be more. It's been time to correct and check people. It's slowly coming to pass. This is rather with the Democrats or him. Yeah, that it should have been done. But the conversation is more so Fat Joe should have never been brought into the culture. Yeah, I get it. They can, there's people who listen, Black people, people love Black people. They always gonna love Black people, what we eat, how we sleep, what we drink, how we think, right? They gonna love everything about us. But to come in and then get to being greasy at the mouth and being disrespectful, yeah, he should have never even thought he could do that, because you ain't gonna be able to go in his culture and do that. I read a story in Puerto Rico. A white lady had went over there and burnt down 3 businesses because she was mad. She mad at them because they told her she was already drunk or something. They told her no. That white woman burnt down 3 businesses in Puerto Rico, hopped her ass back on the plane, came back to Iowa or something like that. And they still looking for her. And I'm like, I wonder if Fat Joe has said anything about that. Why you haul up in our business? You ain't said nothing about that white woman going over there and disrespecting your people, burning down 3 businesses, and they let her go. You know what I mean? So that's where he should be focused. Okay, just getting off work, Buck Horse. Well, I hope he didn't work too hard. Liz says, I think he needs to listen to louder music. Oh, I'm sorry, to older music. Then maybe he'll realize what he missed out on, and will give what music sounds like. It says, so who is he? The people that's pulling the strings, no, they doing exactly what they doing on purpose. That's all by design.
Yeah, and I want you guys to always remember this. And I found this out myself in my life experiences. When a white supremacy takes a L, or you think that they're losing, they are. But at the same time, they're regrouping and re-strategizing when we think that the battle and the war is over. And we got to start doing that as well. Just because we don't see them or we think we're winning right now, we got to find a way to maintain or continue going and fighting these battles, because they don't think that these people ain't sitting there saying, okay, we need a Jasmine Crockett, we need a whoever to represent and make us look good and all this other stuff. And that's what they're doing. They're putting black faces in white spaces to sell black people out. So we have to regroup as well. Don't think because right now we're on top that's the end of it.
King David says hip hop. How you doing, by the way? He says hip hop culture and the creation thereof is separate discussion from the hip hop industry, which isn't controlled by us. I think those two get conflated. I totally agree with you. But as far as talking about what you controlling, we don't own the hip hop as it is today. We might have owned it then, but yes, the culture, absolutely. But then you ask yourself, how you gonna stop them from encroaching upon it if we don't own it? You know what I mean? And I see people mention Eminem. Yeah, he's a culture vulture. But the good thing about Eminem, I think I don't follow Eminem like that. I think he's able to keep his mouth shut. I don't know. I could be wrong. If he's disrespecting black people, then I stand corrected. But Fat Joe, yeah, he runs his mouth real greasy when it comes to black people. And I think that's because Fat Joe really thinks he's Black American. But see, they switch back and forth. They know they can be Puerto Rican when it's convenient, and Black American or black people when it's cool. See what I'm saying?
I saw that interview where he says when they were debating hip hop and how Puerto Ricans were there. He said he was like, I took pictures. What? You took pictures? I held crates. So just because you held crates and you took pictures, it's like, remember the school dance when everybody's like break dance and everybody was like around them? Does that give you the justification that you were there at the start of hip hop? No, you were just there.
Right, because what he's really saying is, yeah, y'all busted me. I should have just shut my mouth. Thunder says, yep, she burned down 3 or 4 bars and ran back to the States like Puerto Rico. Is it a part of America? Right, that's crazy. And they let her go back on the plane. There's only 2 major airports on the island. Yeah, but over here, and I say in the States, because I know they're part of us, they're saying, well, we don't really have jurisdiction. So basically, they're just letting that white woman go. But they did call her job and say, yeah, she burned down some businesses and left. And they let her leave. So the job, they suspended her. Saying they're gonna look into it. But yeah, Fat Joe, he should be going over there, speaking up for his people. That's what he should be doing. Brother Reddy says, Hun, yeah, you got the goods like Madeline Woods. Yep, Fife Dog. Absolutely. And that's what song was that? Was it Butter? What song is that? And I know I'm wrong, but yeah. I love A Tribe Called Quest, by the way. Oh, have y'all seen the lineup for the Houston Rodeo? And if you have, you Houstonians, are you going? Mad Doggy says, stop inviting everyone to the cookouts. Yeah, that's what I said. Every time a white man do the Watusi good or something, now he need to come to the cookout. Why? King Shaw says, Eminem disrespected. He says, FBA women. Okay. Star Child says, why would Bob Johnson sell it to whites? That's where we need to start. Yeah, he's probably done with it, Yeah,
but who else could he have sold it to that had that type of money? Exactly. I mean, it's capitalism. He's going to sell it to the person that's going to offer him the most money. Look at George Lucas and Star Wars, $4 billion. Of course, they ruined it. But even though Star Wars is ruined, Disney has made way more than $4 billion off of that IP.
Gotcha. So y'all say Eminem was disrespectful to black women. Okay. Like I said, I don't follow Eminem. I never was a fan of Eminem at all. So, okay, if he's done that, then definitely, Kate Mack says, does anyone remember what happened to Busta Rhymes when he opened his mouth? Yeah, you know what? I love Busta Rhymes. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Y'all be mad at me if you want to, especially when he was with Leaders of the New School. And he brought up the rear of Scenario, Tribe Called Quest and all of that. I love that Busta. Okay. I don't know what happened to Busta lately. They get to opening their mouths like, man, Y'all just be doing, just shut up. You're on one of the dopest hip hop songs ever in history to me. Scenario, right? And then you just have to ruin the I don't know what he ruined something. Samuel C says Eminem disrespected black women, calling his ex-girlfriend the N-word. Oh, got you. Okay, got you. So let's see here. Electric. Was it on electric relaxation? Hold on a second. Deanna, my daughter's she's a Tribe Called Quest fan, worse than me. Come here for a second. Wait. I'm trying to get the I can't get the lyric in my head to do this at the same time. Watch, I'm gonna ask her. Where did Fife say she got the goods like Madeline Woods? What song was that? She got the goods like Madeline Woods. I want to say it's electric relaxation. Okay, then I stand corrected. Let me see. Brother Reddy said it's electric relaxation. Y'all know I just be not knowing. Anyway, let's see. Okay, so Jacoby says Eminem said the N-word, I guess, years ago, and he got checked by Benzino. Okay, and they give Benzino such a hard time. It's crazy. Hey, Damon, how you doing? Hope you're doing well.
Relaxation is correct.
Got you. Lady Diana says, this has been great being with you all today. Hope you have a great rest of your Friday and amazing weekend. I'll be working on my newest novel. What are you writing? We want to know. He says, stay safe out there, everybody. Diane says, Eminem is a low-key racist, just angry and unhappy person. Listen, you ain't got to convince me. Damien says, Chain of Kruma. And what is that about, if you don't mind me asking? Oh, yeah. FM, yeah. Tribe Called Quest. I watched the Hall of Fame induction. I love it. Love it. I wish Fife and Q-Tip would have, they tried to get along. They had their issues, but man, they're like one of my favorite groups. One of them, I love them.
See, look, don't let Demetra fool you. She knows nothing about the native tongues. Absolutely nothing.
Please. Please. Thunder says, if that was me, I wouldn't have made it 12 feet after throwing a lit cigarette. And Morther says, D, I'm definitely trying to come to the rodeo. I love me a black cowboy. Nothing sexier than, I was like, what they be having over there? Says, nothing sexier than a black American freedman. I like them. I love my coffee, tea, hot, black, and strong. I wasn't going to go. Well, I don't normally go, but y'all probably going to judge me. Journey is going to be there. So I want to be there too.
Or is it that you're a secret Dallas Cowboy fan?
Nah. Jesse says Busta Rhymes are doing Walmart commercials. I saw that. More threats says DM definitely trying to come to the rodeo. I'm gonna put this up here. I read your comment, but thank you so much for that. I would appreciate you. Yeah, they Cowboys, huh?
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you this about the journey. Is it going to be with Steve Perry, or is it with the Filipino guy? I think the Filipino guy left. That sounded like Steve Perry. There's another guy now.
He's still there.
Okay.
I think his name is Arnett. Yeah, he's still there. He's been with them about 16 years now. And they actually went to find him. And when they found him, he didn't speak any English. They found him in the Philippines. And he sounds just like Steve Perry. I don't care what nobody says. Steve Perry, he is one of the best. I consider him like a rock god. Yes. Yeah, I bet y'all didn't know that about me. I like all kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's my song. Oh, Sherry.
Yes. Yeah, and a lot of times people think it's Journey, but yeah, it's Steve. Yes, but iconic voice, iconic. But no, he won't be there. I don't think he will anyway. I know, Brother Reggie. I believed you the first time, but I don't know. In my mind, I was hearing butter, but I was wrong, and I'm wrong sometimes, not often, but sometimes. Negro says, I didn't know Busta Rhymes was Jamaican until 3 years ago. That's what I'm saying. He opened his mouth. He opened his mouth. And now he even stepped in. I guess maybe he was I don't know what he was trying to do. His 23 says, we were breakdancing almost 100 years ago. He says, Split, Stilt, Swing, Curtis Blow, Run DMC, MC Light, Queen Latifah. Yep. Brother says, I've been the president of oh, really? ATCQ, really? Fan club since the 90s. Yes, indeed. Yeah, same here. But I'm bad with lyrics. My daughter would tell you, good with hooks, bad with lyrics. Jacoby says it was on the Movement album, A Tribe Called Quest. Mr. South Carolina says Hispanic, Puerto Rican. I'm no Negro, Fat Joe. Damn. Dear self, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Okay, so y'all saying Eminem is racist. Like I said, I don't be following him at all. Yes, Journey. I love Journey. I just do. Raven says Eminem dissed Michael Jackson. Yes, Michael Jackson went gangster. That's what I heard and buying his catalog. I did hear that. Sunlight, how you doing? Says Journey. I know one song from them. What? My daughter asked me today. She says, you couldn't have been that old when Journey.
Anywhere you want it. That's the way. Come on now.
Yeah.
Journey was the definitive 80s band.
Yeah, my daughter says you couldn't have been that old. I say, yeah, I don't know. She said, where did you hear Journey from? I said, I remember hearing Journey from a child because I know most of their songs, right? So I'm probably gonna be there on the night that Journey is there. Just gonna tell y'all that right now. Bun B is gonna be there. He's gonna. I guess he usually has a whole bunch of people show up. So I don't know. Yes, I know it's Foolish Heart. I love that song. Asha says I still listen to Journey. Okay.
Who remade Foolish Heart? And Denzel was in the video.
Who? Is that
who remade the song Foolish Heart? She came from a very popular band. She went solo. She remade Foolish Heart, and Denzel Washington was in the video.
I don't know, but it couldn't have been that good if I don't remember it.
Karen Bryant, Atlantic Star.
Yeah, like I said,
all
I hear is Steve Perry. Foolish Heart.
Yeah, she did a good version of it.
Yeah, that's all I hear. That's all I hear. Anyway, Herschel, how you doing? Says I would have never guessed Demetria was a Journey fan. Oh, I'm a fan of a lot of stuff. Red Hot Chili Peppers, all that. I get down with the get down. Yes, I do.
And the only reason she does that is because periodically I will email her some songs and
that's a goddamn lie.
To see if to keep her music IQ up. She won't admit it.
Nah, I've been a Journey fan since I could be a Journey fan. Okay, since a child.
What was the brand of Steve Perry's shoes when he did the song?
Come on now with the Cortezes. Come on with the Cortezes. Hey, Deanna, bring me my Cortezes, please. Because see, Donovan tried to test my gangster. He just tried to test my gangster. Anybody knows me before we leave, who or what is my favorite band? Anybody knows that? I'll give you a cookie when I see you.
K19.
Now, I love me some Steely Dan. Now, they're one of my favorite bands, but not my favorite band. I've seen them 3 times. And people are like, are you serious? Are you kidding me?
Jamarki.
Who?
What's that guy, Jamarki, the white guy?
Huh?
Cortez.
Hit my wall.
Yeah, right.
Yes. And those are the exact ones that he has. Don't ever play with me again. Somebody said Lakeside Cameo, love him. DeBarge. You would think that it was the El DeBarge is one of my favorite singers, but my favorite band. Brand New Heavies. Yeah, I've never seen Brand New Heavies. I want to
love the Brand New Heavies. Oh my God. Love them.
And this particular band was influenced by the Brand New Heavies. Okay. I want to see if you guys could guess it. Donovan, what did you say?
I was saying I love the Brand New Heavies.
Hold on.
Oh, Jamarca. Yeah.
Ding,
Jamarca.
ding, 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 ding. Yeah. Jamiroquai. Yes. And they're making a new album. So they say. We think they are. We will see.
Yeah, and one of the good albums that's also kind of like the Brand New Heavies, Incognito. Very good album.
Yeah. Jamiroquai was influenced by Brand New Heavies, Incognito. I would probably imagine that Incognito and Brand New Heavies around the same time. So I don't know who influenced who. But yes, Jamiroquai is definitely heavily influenced by those bands, Earth, Wind, and Fire, Stevie Wonder, all Jamiroquai. Come on now. Yeah, y'all Tears for Fears really. I was in high school when Tears for Fears came out.
Yeah, the 80s was a good time for music. I mean, you had all the genres. Sade was kicking, the British Invasion, the second British Invasion, hip hop, New Edition. I mean, everybody was coming out. All these bands were coming out. We didn't talk about our, Stank Coochie and all that. We talked about love and how I want to get with you, and people were dressed up.
Yes, I love Chicago. Chicago did a lot of music for the Karate Kid franchises.
David Foster. David Foster.
Yes, absolutely love Chicago. Saturday in the park. Yeah, love Chicago. Y'all be surprised at stuff that I like. I like I said, my music range is all over, all over. And I'm not a one. I think I could say that one trick pony. I'm not a trick for sure. Marvin Gaye, yes, yes, yes. The Jets. I like the Jets. Yeah, I love the Jets. I think they're still touring. Brother Eddie said JK wanted to be the lead singer, brand new heavies, but they went with India Davenport, which I love, 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 love. India. She was the original singer. They've had other Saida Garrett was one.
Garrett was one.
They had a few other ones, yeah. But India
I have her
Davenport,
solo album. I have her solo album.
love India, love her. But I could see that. I could see how JK would have wanted to be the front man. But Jamiroquai, I've seen them 3 times, believe it or not. And that's probably rare for anybody on the planet to see them 3 times.
I'm going to tell you guys, I'm going to give you guys a real hint. I've got over 500 gigabytes of albums, digital albums, just made them digital. Okay. Brand New Heavies, one of my favorite songs other than Forever, which was a damn good song. Oh my God.
Forever.
Yeah, right. But the other song after that.
Forever. Huh?
What was the song that after that? After Forever. After Forever.
Okay.
That was a jam.
Uh-huh. Reggie says, did you do a broadcast on what happened on January 7th? He says CJEC rocked the Capitol. No, I don't even know what that is. Maybe I need to look into it. Yeah, Star Child, black and white music was good in the 80s. Yeah, if you weren't there at the 80s, you missed it. You just missed it. You missed it. You crazy, Daryl. Talking about what about Randy Watts and his sexual chocolate? Yes, Diggable Planets. Yep. I love Diggable Planets. Lady Diana says, I just listened to Chicago's greatest hits while writing. Yes, that's soft rock.
A lot of people should be, you would think in today's world, Demetra, people would be walking around singing Confunction. Because it wasn't that about a sneaky link.
It was more or less like he messed up. And she says, man, the hell with you. I'm going to do other things. And then when he came to his senses, when he came out the streets from tricking, he was like, I really want to be with you. She says, that's great. I got somebody over now. You're going to have to wait your turn, honey. That's what that was about, He crazy. Lisa was cool, Puerto Rican. Red Ray says, I love early Jamiroquai, but stop listening when my man, Stu left. The original bassist and co-creator left the group, but they're still cool though. They're all still cool. He likes my comments every once in a while, Stu. I always say he's one of the greatest bassists to ever do it, and I will stand on that. But yeah, they're still cool though. I wish they would still stay together. But those iconic bass lines, Space Cowboy, Planet Earth, yeah, absolutely, stupid.
Hey, all of y'all the youngsters, y'all don't know
without moving. Yes,
y'all are all the youngsters. Y'all don't know what a love song is. Lenny Williams. If you don't know anything about Lenny Williams, you just don't know music.
You crazy. Nikki says, so Kamala left early. Her house, from what I understand, is in danger. For her, yes, Sammy C. Wham, yep. Club Tropicana, yes, love Wham, love. 7779311. Damon, you crazy.
All instruments and songs written by Jamie Starr, who was Prince.
Yeah, Jamiroquai is underrated, but that's okay. We could gatekeep Jamiroquai, but hopefully they come to the States. I wouldn't even mind to travel to see them if they come out with a new album. Loose Ends, yeah. You can't do it without Loose Ends. Total, yeah. That Total was cool. Someone like said, Demetra K, is that the little white Jamaican who wears a hat bigger than him? He's not. I don't know if he's Jamaican. He might be. But yeah, that's the one that wears the buffalo. It's the Buffalo Man hat. That's what it's called. The buffalo hat. I actually need to give me another t-shirt.
What was the name of that song made famous?
Which one? That one? You mean the ones that y'all first heard of them? Virtual Insanity?
No.
Which
Buffalo Stance? Remember the song Buffalo Stance? They had the hat in the video. Remember the song Buffalo Stance?
That's Nina Cherry.
Nina Cherry, right? Yeah. She's still putting out music.
You know why she wrote that song and who she wrote the song for?
Tell us.
Because Lenny Kravitz was cheating on Lisa Bonet, and that was her. I saw because she saw him, and so she wrote the song to say, "Hey, I saw you. I saw you cheating on Lisa Bonet. Look it up." Yeah, there was another Reggie in the chat. I don't know where he went. So anyway, we better get out of here because we get to talking about music. Yes, John 5-star All Fall Down. They're UK group as well. Yeah, Zap R.I.P.
That song All Fall Down was written by Loose Ends and arranged by Loose Ends, produced by Nick Martinelli.
Okay, there you go. Phil Collins. Yeah, Phil Collins. He had the 80s on lock, didn't he? He had the 80s on lock. Tonight. And then that synthesizer, doo-doom, doo-doom, doo-doom. And did the music for Miami Vice. Yep, Confunction. I like the Ohio Players. That's my group right there. I think they wrote most of those songs for me anyway. Skin Tight, you know, they wrote that about me. About the bust the stitches. Running folks in the ditch. I'm telling you, every time that song come on, I'd be like, it was talking about me.
Right. Do you know what I think heaven is? I think heaven is you.
Yeah, that they were talking about me. Heaven must be like this. Yes, they were talking about me. I should have been there. I was born in the 70s, but I should have been there, right? You know what I'm saying? With my afro and you know, all that, you know, but I can only, you know, wish, hey Bernie, how you doing? Thank you. Brother Ray says, I forgot for a while they weren't speaking. Glad to hear they got things worked out. Yeah, I think they cool now. But yeah, they left. I guess he left on something. But yeah, I was like, everybody was kind of upset when Stewart left. Crazy. I was just Gladys Knight singing End of the Road is phenomenal. Gladys Knight is my mom's, she was my mom's passed on favorite singer of all time. Person says, if you haven't sat in the dark listening to Lenny Williams, maybe having love like I've been in love. Did you have a brown liquor drink when you was doing it? Oh. I need to fill my glass back up. That hussy. Yes, the stylistics. I saw the stylistics once. I had an opportunity to see them, and I almost throw my my Spanx on the stage.
My first group. Okay, let me just say this. Give you guys a trivia before we get out of here. It's important. The most successful charting group of the 1970s never won a Grammy.
Okay, say that again. The most
successful charting group, soul group of the 1970s never won a Grammy.
Cool in the Game?
Close. OJ's is close, Brother Reggie.
I know damn well it wasn't the Earth, Wind,
and Fire. You guys are on the right track.
It wasn't Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Nope. Not Cameo. Not Jackson 5. Most charting. These guys had the most charted hits in the 70s. They never won a Grammy. The Troop.
The Commodores.
No. Commodores only had a few hits in the 70s.
But they had some hits, goddammit.
Mm-hmm, they did.
They had some hits. Curtis Mayfield, yep. Sad story what happened with him, right. But
I'm gonna give you guys the answer. The Spinners.
Okay. They should, that's wild. That's wild. Jamila says, I never heard of that group. Jamiroquai, probably spelled wrong. Oh, you were close. Says, I looked their music up and it's not for me. Dimitri, you like to skate, so their music sounds like music you would skate to. Yeah, you know, and Jamiroquai, they're in a sense what you call woke. Very, very conscious about a lot of stuff. Emergency on Planet Earth, that album right there is, in my opinion, is iconic. But yeah, I loved them for a long time, and like I said, I've seen them 3 times, and I want to see them 3 more. Huey Lewis in the News, yep, love them in the 80s, man. That was some good times, So anyway, and CJ says, I'm a 90s baby, but my parents played the music from the 70s, and I'm sure time was had. Oh yeah, absolutely. My daughter's a 90s baby too, and she could tell you about all the music. Yes.
Well, I'll tell you this. From the 1960s, 70s, and 80s, there was a lot of babies born, even though we're on a decline now. Why? Because the music sucks.
Yep. JK is part Iroquois Indian. That's correct. The band is a combination of Jam, Iroquois, Jamiroquai. Yep. For a long time, my Yahoo email was JamFan1. That was my, when I first email I ever got was JamFan1. Crazy. So anyway, we love and appreciate y'all. We're gonna get out of here. I was trying to get out of here in 45 minutes and God dang it, we didn't overstayed our welcome. So Sunlight said I was gonna say the spinners. Yeah, spinners. Yeah, I don't know how that is. That's crazy that they don't. Yes, Space Cowboy is iconic. Iconic. Yes. So anyway, Blue Magic. Okay. We're going to get out of here. Love and appreciate every last one of y'all. See y'all on Sunday. I don't know what we'll talk about, but I'm sure it will be interesting. Brother Reggie says, I used to have a website called Everything is Good and Bright. Yes, that's part of the lyrics of Space Cowboy. Yes, I was singing for y'all, but another time. Anyway, see y'all later. Negroes, it says in the supermarket and Wham starts playing Laugh Out Loud. Even the kids nowadays know the song, Wake Me Up Before You Go. All right, we'll get out of here. Peace.